Well, reports have surfaced that rapper Kanye West has proposed. Yes, proposed to the mother of his baby and also to his longtime girlfriend on her 33rd birthday. I'm talking about Kim Kardashian here. But the 35-year-old rapper did it in an extraordinary way. 15-carat diamond ring, and made sure that the fireworks and lights were there, and taking over the San Francisco baseball stadium. Now, a lot of people are speculating and asking the question, will the relationship last? Why? Because they're part of a reality show, and usually all their secrets are out there. We're talking about relationships and our private lives. You know, how much should be told? Do we put everything out there? Do we tell everything to our partner that sometimes should be left unsaid?
When it comes to relationships, boundaries are important. They not only help strengthen your relationship, but also ensure that you maintain an element of privacy. So what are some of the things that you might think twice about before discussing with your partner? Number 1, your friends' secrets. Your friends confide in you and expect you to keep that confidence. After all, they do the same for you, right? So try and keep their trust intact. At number 2, your dislike for his or her family. Families can be difficult, and there may be someone who you cannot get along with, but your partner's family will probably always be around, and expressing your dislike for a family member can lead to hurt and resentment. Number 3, your password. This is a big no-no when it comes to sharing with your partner. Even though you might trust him or her, giving access to passwords can lead to a temptation to stalk you and go through all your private conversations, resulting in an obsessive relationship. And finally, don't discuss your past in too much detail. This is especially relevant when it comes to former partners. It can lead to jealousy, resentment, and unnecessary competition. So, while honesty is important, sometimes it's better to keep some things to yourself.
Sure, a difficult one indeed. But here to give us advice, sexologist Dr. Eve is in studio to talk about honesty in relationships. Dr. Eve, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Is full disclosure in a relationship healthy?
No. I think this is one of the myths of relationships today, is that in order to be intimate, you have to bare your soul and use your partner as a confessional and tell everything. The success of a relationship is your own personal honesty to yourself, first and foremost. You have to decide, am I going to be an integrous person? In other words, can I be honest with myself about what I want to do in this relationship and how I want to conduct myself? And most importantly, can I be a trustworthy person? And then if you can check in with yourself and say, actually, I am being honest, I like what I'm disclosing, it isn't going to be harmful to keep a certain element of privacy, which is really important, because if we don't have that privacy in terms of just our own personal thoughts, I mean, imagine if just like every time you have a thought about your partner, it's like, I'm really not liking you right now, to spit that out. That's not really useful.
Speaking of which, what are some of the things that should rather be left unsaid?
Well, some things that cause great controversy is like how much sexual activity there was in the past, so exactly the details of what you did, because those things tend to sit in a partner's mind and they become really, really large. The ideal thing is to be able to communicate when you have thoughts that are really intrusive and block your intimacy with your partner. But I do think it's okay to have privacy. There's a difference between privacy and secrets. Secrets are never a good thing to be holding in a relationship.
Speaking of secrets, do you get to the point where you can tell a white lie from time to time?
Well, I think people withhold information, and that can be quite treacherous, depending on the dynamic of the relationship. If, for example, in my practice, and one partner will be withholding a lot of information, I'm kind of going to want to know why. And it'll often turn out because he or she's afraid of the other person's response. Then that's kind of problematic. If you're walking around on eggshells and you have to tell white lies, that's not being honest in your communication. And you have to be able to communicate honestly and feel free to be able to talk about things that you want to.
When is it okay not to disclose something?
It's okay not to disclose something when it's really going to hurt somebody. So you have to pick a time, and you have to be able to talk about it in a way that's going to be positive. It's like, you know, I really like your hair, but I would really prefer if you wore your hair longer.
Really?
Instead of being able to go and say, your hair looks really, really bad today. I mean, that's kind of harmful stuff, you know. So it's okay to be able to be honest, but always with a positive, what we call a soft starter. Or, I really like the way you treat my family, but it would be really nicer if you spent more time with them. Because then there's a softness to it. There's no harshness, there's no criticism. People struggle with criticism, especially men, by the way. So you never want to criticize your man because he responds terribly, very badly. You want to be able to communicate in an honest way, but it doesn't mean the full disclosure. I always say to couples that your relationship is not your confessional. Come to a therapist, go to a priest or a rabbi, but don't have to do a full confessional into your relationship. You want to weigh it up. What are the risks and the benefits? But your first role, your first task is being honest with yourself.
Wow.
Living an integrous life.
Thank you, Dr. Eve. I could talk about this for hours, when it comes to our relationship and our partners. Well, we're going to keep this communication open. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Espresso. We will be back after the break.